I know I already looked at this before, but screw it. I'm going to look at it again. But this one's from Sky News on transgender athletes ban, specifically transgender women. So let's see what they have to say.
Just want to bring you a different breaking story. Sky News understands the International Olympic Committee is moving towards a blanket ban on transgender women from women's sport.
Wow, who would have fucking guessed? Wow. I know this is gonna be a shocker for like the like 0.01% of people who didn't understand this basic fact. But when you talk about the best soccer players, you'll say Ronaldo. When you talk about the best boxer, you'll say Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. When you talk about the best basketball player, you'll say Michael Jordan, you'll say Shaq, you'll say Kobe. When you talk about the best wrestler, you'll say John Cena, you'll say Undertaker. When you talk about like the best in a lot of like powerlifting, you'll talk about Arnold usually. But when you get through all of that, you find this one thing, which is typically when you see the best at any sport, they're gonna be male almost entirely throughout every category imaginable. Maybe with the exception of gymnastics, obviously, but like anything related physically or running, it's obviously the top dog in it is gonna be a male because the thing is you never really hear women breaking a lot of men's records, but the moment someone transitions into a woman, you hear their records being broken pretty much like what once every month. Like swimming records destroyed by I don't even remember what that person was, but
Bring in
yeah.
our sports correspondent, Rob Harris. Rob, there have been many people who've been campaigning for this for quite a while.
Yep.
Explain to us what it means.
This is a notable shift in position from the International Olympic Committee. Previously, they'd left it to individual sports to decide whether or not transgender women could compete in women's sport. But now,
Yeah, just so you know, I knew that I had this shit figured out since I was 11, that men and women are different. And the way I figured that shit out was simple because the boys played against the girls' soccer team and they got fucking destroyed. And the boys played against the girls in tug of war and they got destroyed. And the boys played against the girls in dodgeball, and that one was a little different because the PE coach joined the girls, so obviously we fucking lost. But if he wasn't there, the girls would have been destroyed. But when you get through all of that, you notice that like men pretty much beat them at everything. But then there's also other things such as if you see a woman hitting a man in public, usually people don't react or say anything. But when you see a man hitting her, all hell breaks loose. You also notice this in how a lot of women they expect that you to not hit them because they're a woman. So they get like egotistical. So it's like this double standard where they can hit you, but you can't hit them. And then people get mad at you for hitting her after she hits you. And, there's a lot of factors in this, but it all leads to the same thing, which is men are generally stronger than women on an average basis. And I'll say this, if there are women athletes who like put in the work, put in the effort, they'll generally be stronger than some males. But in general, if you put a male athlete, they'll be better than pretty much every female athlete without like much competition.
Sky News understands that the International Olympic Committee is moving towards a blanket ban on transgender women competing in women's events. We also understand that there's been discussions about reintroducing sex testing, something that existed in the 60s until the late 90s. Now, the IOC is taking this decision or moving towards it because so many other sports are athletics, swimming, cycling amongst those.
That's the thing. Women's sports should be a celebration of women's strength. But the moment someone who, like I'll say it, past the age of 14 got a sex change, they will always have an unfair advantage no matter what. Because the equivalent of it is saying, oh, my Honda Civic is better than your Honda Civic. But in actuality, what you did was replace the frame of a Lamborghini, put a Honda Civic over it, but left the Lamborghini engine inside of it. Like, obviously, a regular stock Honda Civic is gonna fucking lose in every front. Like, it's not even a competition. But then people will pretend, oh, there's no difference. It's like, yeah, there's a difference. There's a Lamborghini engine inside one of them. The other one is a stock engine made for people who make $30,000 a year versus one of people who make at minimum $200,000 a year. Boom.
Who have decided to ban transgender women from women's events. Now, this is because of concerns about competitive advantages.
Yep.
I understand that last week IOC members were briefed by the medical chief of the IOC, Dr. Jane Thornton, that there are advantages in sporting terms from having those physical advantages have gone through.
Who would have fucking guessed? Also in chess, to become a female grandmaster, it's far easier than becoming a male grandmaster too. I almost forgot that. But who would have fucking guessed? Who would have fucking guessed? Men and women are different because women have this thing called giving birth, which makes it so that they have physical disadvantages because they're the ones who bear the children. And men, because they don't, typically are stronger, leaner, like more muscular, and have far more testosterone.
Male puberty, and that's created concerns about the women's sport category. There is a new IOC president, Kirsty Coventry, who told me just after her election in March she was looking towards about protecting the women's sport category.
I agree.
And now it looks like we could get a decision ahead of the LA Olympics in 2028. It does follow pressure from the US President Donald Trump, who spoke about this on the campaign trail, then after getting into office signed an executive order banning transgender women from women's sport in the United States. He vowed to end the war on women's sport, as he put it. He said he would deny visas.
And also, here's another thing. When's the last time you heard a transgender man beating, like, world top class men in competition? The answer is probably never. The answer is probably never. In fact, you know what? Let's fact check that. Let's fact check this. I'm pretty sure it's probably never. Let's see. See, it's probably never. Let's fucking see. Okay, it corrected the typo. Now let's get into it. Probably like not much. Damn, this is taking a bit. Let's see. 14th in college. Oh, okay, I didn't get to read that. Okay. Damn, this thing is taking a while. Damn, I didn't think I would put Grok through a stress test like this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. At least one. Okay, let's see. Where is it? First transgender man to box professionally against a man, having a 1-3 records in pro bouts, no major titles. Never heard of her. Okay, let's see. Ness Ruby, Olympic runner. Okay. Now let's see the opposite. Bro, why do I keep missing the S? Oh great, you have 3. Let's see. Why am I so bad at typing today? Okay, let's get this. Brock. Let's see. 29. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. So what we got? Leah Thomas. Okay. Yep. Freestyle national champion. Okay, national champion. Yep, let's see. National champion. Championship. Okay. Oceania record. Let's see. Association wins for this golf. Let's see. Let's see. Women's Masters National Championship. Drives of the week. Eligibility. Regional Pro winner wins. Okay, that's not national, but that's pretty high. Let's see. Top league and Olympic alternate qualifier, and won. Yeah, so if you look at that, what you got a few cases of like this. These aren't nationals at all. Like silver and bronze medal. I'll give that one a pass. But but see the difference? It's like the difference of like one win versus the rest of them were all either national or like top level shit.
Athletes trying to compete at the LA Olympics in women's categories if they had gone through male puberty. Now,
Yep.
I also understand that there could also be a ban on athletes with differences of sex development also being prohibited from women's events. Now, if we think back to the Paris Olympics in 2024, there were no transgender women that we know of competing, but there was a very high-profile case in boxing. Amar Khalif, the Algerian, won gold in women's boxing. It was said she'd failed sex test in the past at a contested world boxing event. She insisted she was born a woman and lived as a woman, but certainly her case brought this issue into the spotlight.
I mean, yeah, because think about it. If you brutalize a female in female sports, like, obviously people are going to notice.
New rules in world boxing meant she would not go through the sex testing that were required, so she hasn't taken part in recent events. So she is someone who could potentially be excluded from the Olympics going forward under all these policies. But a decision would have to be taken by the International Olympic Committee's main session. That won't be in time for the Winter Olympics in Italy in February, but also, IOC members are set to be discussing this more going down the line. I have just had a comment from the International Olympic Committee that they do say that an update was given by the IOC medical director to IOC members last week at the commission meetings. The working group is continuing its discussions on this topic and no decisions have been taken yet. So there is still a working group looking at this issue, but as things stand now, Sky News understands the International Olympic Committee is moving towards introducing a blanket ban on transgender women competing in women's sporting events.
Yeah, I fucking agree. But yeah, this is the whole thing, which is women's sports are a celebration of women, and I'll give you guys the equivalent. The male equivalent of a transgender woman going into female sports would be if you let a man on steroids go into your competitions while you're not allowed to use them yourself. The only difference is the only difference is the steroids come naturally from your body rather than because you were biologically born a male. But anyways, that's it. I just want to talk about this again because, obviously.